me a few times now. I've been coming to these meetings for about 2 months. I've been presenting business on a browser in some respect. So really going to deep dive into explain more what business on a browser is and what we can do and why it's important to take note of it. So first of all, nice to meet everyone from a business on a browser perspective. As you may have picked up on, my name is Jonathan. I've spent most of my career in consulting, doing project management, program management, and even development. I was working on some sprint teams for a while, certified Scrum Master, bunch of different certifications across various CRM platforms. So basically spent my whole career doing system implementation for companies, mostly in the CRM lead to sales space. And I've partnered with my good friend Dennis. Dennis is obviously our fearless leader of these meetings. He is a CPA and cloud enthusiast. Dennis, you probably don't need an introduction, but would you like to say anything additional about yourself?
Sure. Now, as far as my work with business on the browser, there are some incredible tax incentives out there just with post-pandemic, in addition to other areas. And I just help Jonathan be able to make sure his clients can afford it. What he's not afford his services, but actually get his services at a huge discount by having the government pay for a lot of his services.
Yes, perfectly well said. Thank you. So what is business on a browser? So we all know that the cloud, and people are starting to get pretty comfortable with the cloud and operating your business remotely and from the browser and having kind of this ecosystem that sits on top of all systems where you can pretty much access and manage your business from anywhere. So business on the browser really helps with a lot of the transition. Companies that are not currently on the cloud or on the platform, on the browser platform, transitioning your business, but also really understanding your business, understanding some of your key pain points and processes, and really working with you to share how we can improve your business while transitioning it to the browser. And basically what we focus on are three main aspects: people, processes, and your product. So all three of these items combine to essentially make your business unique and who it is. So of course you have the people component. Those are the actual employees or contractors, customers, clients that you're working with, which make up your business. Your secret processes, how you do things, how you make things efficiently, how you make things probably easier or better for your customers while they're choosing you over a competitor. And then lastly, your product. So what is it that you're offering or selling that is really attracting those customers in? And we basically bring all three of those together and optimize each aspect to make it easier to get from lead to sales. So how do we do that? So when we come into a business, when we first meet a business, we generally start with a discovery or an interview period where we learn more about that business so that we can provide the right recommendation. So we obviously can't provide a recommendation. We don't have cookie cutter recommendations. We truly learn a business first before recommending what the various solutions that we have for that business. So first we start with your people. Those are always the most important. We want to understand who's on your team, who do you work with, who do you contract work out to, are you fully staffed, are you looking to hire more people, are you at capacity, are you a global team, or do you work mostly in one country or one time zone? So how do your people work together? And then your products. So what products maybe shine a little brighter than some other products? What are your top sellers? What products do you feel could be a game changer in a year from now that you might need help marketing or changing the messaging on? What are some products that have maybe been impacted or, hurt by the pandemic or anything else? Or maybe what are some products that have just come out, new ideas because of the pandemic? And how do those products fit into your other product ecosystem, and how are they sold together, things like that. And then your processes, and personally, this is where I've spent a lot of my career as well, understanding how your people and your products work together to actually get those items sold. So how do you communicate with your team? How are things sold? What is your pipeline or your opportunity pipeline look like? How do you do reporting? How do you track metrics? How do you measure success? How do you handle production issues? So what are some things that basically go into those process areas so that you know how every aspect of your business is handling any issue that could come up. So we learn about you, and then basically now you know about business on the browser, we know about more of your company, so now we start recommending our product. The product that we work with is the Google Workspace. And for those that are not familiar with Google Workspace, you should probably get familiar with Google Workspace. Google's been around for a while, a giant platform, pretty well known, but basically what people don't know about the Google Workspace, I mean, a lot of people go onto their email. Most people have a email account. Actually, it's like 9.3 out of 10 people have a Google email, which is pretty crazy. So most people in the world have some type of Gmail address, but your business is operating on this workspace, and the email is just a small piece of it. So what are the other tools that you already have access to that could really be helping you to improve your business? What could be optimizing and automating certain processes that you do today? What can make it easier for you to share and receive files, and even cheaper than using some other third-party tools? How can you run better, more engaging meetings using Google Meets and YouTube, and bringing in some of the cool ideas and what other people are doing to really drive up engagement during this, virtual and remote world? How do you work docs, sheets, and slides into a comprehensive and cohesive manner? So showing how you can link things and how you can add tasks and map things back to all these documents. Most businesses rely very heavily on sheets and slides. So there's a ton of opportunities to kind of combine the power of both of them to create some really cool automations. And then what are all the integrations that you have access to? You have a phone sitting on your desk right now that has tons of apps that I'm sure you have at least 15 to 20 apps installed. Why not do that with your Google Workspace? You have the ability to integrate with these apps. These apps can be life-changing for you and your business. So let someone come in and show you the art of the possible, what's out there, and what can really help drive efficiency across your business. So basically now we go through our process. So we've explained what our workspace is, the tools that we have access to. We've learned about your business. You obviously know about business on a browser. So how do we start making that into reality? First things first is we become your Google Workspace reseller. And that's basically a fancy way to say that you are signing up for a dedicated support team. So when you make the business on a browser team your Google Workspace reseller, you're really locking in a trusted partner to help manage your Google Workspace. So it's more than just flipping a switch to make us a reseller. It's really bringing us on as your dedicated admin. So we're going to run your support. If you have a problem and you run down to an outage, you don't have to send an email to admin at Google, who might go into a queue and not respond to you for 48 hours. You send an email to me, send me a text, and I'll respond to you within 5 minutes. So we become your dedicated support team that is truly looking out for you and having your back as you go through this. We then conduct a free analysis of your entire tool suite and your website. And one of the most important things we do is check for ADA compliance. If anyone here has heard of Domino's Pizza or Beyonce, they have been sued because their websites are not ADA compliant. And if Beyonce can be sued, I'm pretty sure anyone on this call can be sued as well. So making sure that your website is ADA compliant, it's part of the American Disability Act that came out in 1990. It's estimated that 1 in 4 people have a disability. And it's also estimated that 40% of websites out there are not ADA compliant. So these are serious numbers that can put you and your business at serious risk. So why not get this free assessment of your website? If it turns out that your website is not ADA compliant, we help you. If it turns out it is, you're then eligible for tax credits. So basically through that whole process, we're able to identify cost-saving metrics for your business, which could be used to put back into your bottom line or to optimize some of these other areas. So number 3, that's the optimization process. That's where we're coming up with a list of here are the 30 things that we've seen after conducting our analysis of your business. We put together a nice backlog of user stories or requirements. Those are all scoped out for effort and timeline and what they impact. So then we can come back and have a conversation with you. Hey, here are all the things that we've realized. What would you like to engage in? What would you like to start with? What can maybe be a phase two? What's nice to have? What's must have? You know, I'm sure you've had a contractor come out to your house before. You wanted him to look at a leaky roof, and their next thing they're recommending is that you need brand new electrical work. So, you know, understanding what scope you want to take on is an open conversation that we have together. And then lastly, we're your implementation partners. So after recommending everything, reviewing everything, we're also the ones that puts the hands on the keyboard and actually does the building as well. So basically what you get is you get this full end-to-end team supporting your transition. So it's different than some typical other consulting shops or dev firms where you might hire one company to do a design review or process review, and then you'll take those user stories and hire a dev firm. You know, bringing it all under one roof allows you to kind of have one point of contact and optimize really the end-to-end delivery timeline of this project together. Anyone not know who Beyonce is? If you don't know Beyonce or Google, then you're really in bad shape.
I've heard of her.
Okay, all right, nice.
Is that like Bed Bath and Beyonce or something, right?
Yeah.
Maybe one day it will.
So a little bit more on ADA and you know, there's some more research you can do, and Dennis is of course our in-house expert on this, but there are some very serious tax credits out there, and above the tax credits, nobody wants to leave anyone out. So making sure that your site and your processes are compliant, it's important. It helps make sure that you're inclusive and you're not excluding anyone. And of course, the tax incentives are always nice as well. Take advantage of some of that extra money and put that back into your business. I like to equate it to those Capital One cards. There's a commercial of a guy that makes dog food, and he got cash back from Capital One. He put that into a new dog food maker, and he was able to expand his business. So these areas are out there for you to take advantage of this free money to then better improve your business so that you can help more people. And that's really what we want to try to drive home, along with all the process improvement areas, are these very serious cost saving areas that we bring to the table as well. Okay, so went through that fairly quickly, but that is essentially who Business Owner Browser is. That's what we focus on. That's what we love doing. You know, there's nothing better than being able to go in and help a business identify a pain point that they've had, and being able to follow up with them a couple months later and knowing that they are a success or they're using something that you've built, or that they've been able to reduce their costs and various